Right now, this might be the best laptop deal out there. For only $1,200, you are getting a Core Ultra 7 CPU and an RTX 4070 GPU, all in a compact 14-inch form factor. Meet the Acer Predator Helios Neo 14. It originally launched at $1,800, which back then didn't seem too good of a deal. But here's the crazy part. I've seen this laptop go on crazy sales, and if you keep an eye out, you can definitely snag it for as low as $999. Yes, I've seen it as low as that. For that price, you would normally be looking at an RTX 4060 laptop, and that makes this one of the cheapest 14-inch laptops you can buy with an RTX 4070 today. Now, Acer's marketing has AI plastered all over this thing, which usually isn't a good sign. But after spending some time with it, there are some things that genuinely surprised me about it. Hey Earthlings, welcome to another video. Today we are shining the spotlight on the Acer Helios Neo 14, starting with its build quality and design. This laptop uses aluminium on the lid with high quality plastic all around the rest of the chassis. On the top lid, you have an RGB logo, which looks really nice. The design on it is pretty simple and basic, with lines running across the top. This unit comes in a deep blue finish, which I personally think looks really nice. There's also a black version if that's more of your thing. The mix of material, color and finish makes it a bit of a fingerprint magnet. So if fingerprints drive you crazy, you definitely need to wipe this laptop down quite frequently. Overall, it looks and feels premium, and the build quality is also solid. However, when you take a closer look at it, there is a bit more keyboard flex and screen wobble that I would like. Personally, I think this design really complements its 14-inch form factor well. Quick question before we dive into specifications. Do you prefer the loudly designed laptops or the more subtle mute ones? Even in terms of color, bright or dull, let me know down below. Now here are the specifications and the price of the Acer Predator Helios Neo 14. This laptop can be spec'd up to a Core Ultra 9 185H CPU, a 3K 165Hz display. The RAM only gets up to 32 gigs, which is decent. However, unfortunately, it is non-user upgradable, meaning what you buy is what you're stuck with. A killer Wi-Fi 6E card, which works quite well and is replaceable. You also only get one SSD port, which means you can't add to your storage. You can only replace the existing one. Going with the upgrades, we run you a little bit more money, so don't expect it to be the same price as the base version. If you plan on picking this laptop up, do use my link in the description below. And if you're enjoying this video so far, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. We are trying to grow to 1,000 subscribers and you can be a part of it. Now back to the video. Regarding the ports on this laptop, on the right you have an HDMI 2.1, a USB-A, a USB Type-C and a micro SD card slot. While on the left you have a barrel adapter, a USB-A, a USB Type-C, most likely with Thunderbolt 4, and a headphone combo jack. I'll say the port selection is quite decent, but I would have liked to see an Ethernet port. The placement of the ports are also somewhat inconvenient. I would have preferred if the ports were placed on the back. However, for a 14-inch laptop, I understand there will be some space constraints when it comes to placing the ports and managing the heat that this laptop produces. More on that later. The hinge works quite well and feels pretty smooth. In fact, it passes the one-hand challenge easily, but it doesn't open all the way back. The display on this is actually where things started to surprise me with this laptop. It uses an IPS panel, and here are the specifications on it. Around its perimeters, you get pretty thin bezels which look good. It looks great. The colors are vibrant and texts are really sharp on it. The 120Hz refresh rate also made gaming on it feel like butter. Also thanks to its performance, which we will talk about really soon. The screen on this laptop will be good enough for color reproduction work, gaming or just content consumption. However, if you do want something a bit better, you can get the 2025 version of the laptop, which comes with an OLED screen instead. Now moving on to its keyboard. The keyboard feels mushy and loud, which surprised me because I expected them to be tactile and clicky, like the other Acer laptops that I've used in the past. Pretty disappointing, but it's good enough. It does have full-size keys, which is a nice thing, but personally I'm not really a fan of the font. It also has 3-zone RGB backlit, which is vibrant and bright. However, maybe due to the poor diffusion and placement, sometimes if you look at it from an angle, you might see the backlit LED itself, which might get too intense for your eyes. It is not unusable by any means, but I just thought you should know. It comes with a plastic trackpad, which surprisingly, unlike its keyboard, felt really nice to use. It was accurate and also clicks in, which felt pleasant. The trackpad is moderately sized, being it's a 14-inch laptop. Now let's move on to performance so you can see the kind of numbers that this beast is able to put out. In gaming, these are the types of frames you'd get with high settings and at its native resolution. This machine performs really well. It can handle anything from CPU heavy tasks like simulations and calculations all the way to GPU heavy tasks like gaming and video editing, all while staying moderately cool to the touch. Speaking about performance, this laptop is able to cool its components by dedicating its entire back to an air vent and the heat management system, which is why we get the ports at the lower part of each side. Underneath, you also get 2 downward firing speakers, and here is how they sound.
Sing clearly and girly. I know say anybody. This is my life, I ain't gonna lie, this is my shit. I say bad boy, get OT, stacking paper, play nicely, little messy.
The speakers sound really decent and actually loud for a 14-inch laptop. However, it lacks deep bass and definitely doesn't come close to the G14 in terms of sound. This laptop comes with a 76 Wh battery and was able to last around 9 hours in light workloads. And that to me makes it such that you can carry around this laptop without worrying about its charger. Overall, my entire experience with this laptop has been positive. It has a great screen, great performance, and a solid battery life. Plus, you can grab it right now for as low as $1,200. Could it have better speakers? Yes. Could it have a bit better build quality? Maybe yes. Could they even make its RAM upgradable? Maybe. But still, for the price, I think if you're looking for a solid 14-inch gaming laptop, you should really take a look at this. So is the Acer Predator Helios Neo 14 just hype? Honestly, no. Right now, it is one of the best deals when it comes to thin and light gaming laptops. But overall, I still can recommend this laptop to anyone looking to get a solid 14-inch gaming laptop at a good price. But if you know something better, which would you rather go for? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of laptops, I just reviewed one of the finest laptops I've ever seen. And if you want to see that video, click the link that pops up on your screen right now.